Hi everybody, Dave Sullivan here for the Credit Guy TV. I want to give you an update on some of the changes to Vantage in their Vantage 3.0 model. VantageScore was the company formed by the three major repositories to compete with FICO on a credit scoring basis. And what they came out with was a scoring range of 501 to 990, and as you know, the FICO scoring model is 300 to 850. So what it created was people who would get their credit score from Vantage being hundreds of points off from what they would get from FICO. So with Vantage version 3.0, they now have the same range that FICO has. So it's 300 to 850 for Vantage and FICO. But there are still some differences between Vantage and FICO. So even if you get a Vantage score, it's still not going to be exactly the same on the FICO scoring model, and I wanted to cover the reasons why it wouldn't. One of them is inquiries. Inquiries on the Vantage scoring model are grouped together and counted as one within a 14-day window. And on the FICO scoring model, they're grouped together and counted as one in a 45-day window. So FICO is more forgiving for inquiries than Vantage. Now, it will only group like inquiries together, but not credit cards. So it'll group auto, mortgage, and student loans together, but not credit cards. So any credit card inquiries you have will count as one. Vantage 3.0 includes utilities, which FICO does as well, but it also includes rent. So Experian bought Rental Bureau, which was a database of how people paid their rent, and they included that into their main credit database. Well, FICO has not yet scored those type of trade lines or those type of accounts yet, but Vantage does. So you're more likely to benefit on your Vantage score from paying your rent on time if the landlord reports the rent back to Experian. But FICO does not take that into an account at all. Vantage is more likely to give you credit for new accounts early on, whereas FICO usually lets people establish credit and then they have to have at least a 6-month history before you can get a score. Vantage actually allows you to start to get a score from the first month that they report that debt. So that's another difference. Authorized user accounts are considered in the Vantage scoring 3.0 model. Only the positive authorized user data is considered. So if you're an authorized user on a Vantage scoring model and that credit card has a negative impact on the score, Vantage doesn't look at it, whereas FICO it does. In the FICO scoring model, every account, if you are an authorized user, and it's usually just a spouse or a direct relative now, if it's negative, it hurts you. In the Vantage scoring model, if it's negative, they don't count it. Student loans, the Vantage 3.0 uses student loans differently, a little bit between government and private loans, so it treats those, the type of loan you have, differently, where I think, I don't know if FICO actually cares which way it is, but in the Vantage 3.0 model, they will score it differently based on where you got the loan. They said that they're looking at national disasters as part of their scoring model, which then would have to account that they know where you live. FICO does not look at where you live. Vantage, obviously, they do. And I kind of disagree with including that in your score. I like the fact that FICO keeps that separate so you can live wherever you want. It won't impact your score. But, you know, if Vantage is looking at natural disasters, they have to know where you're living in order to take account for that. So I disagree with them using that. And then medical debt, in the Vantage scoring model, it doesn't count at all. Medical debt in the FICO scoring model, version 9 and up, won't count if it's less than $100. So there's another difference in between Vantage and FICO. So those are the differences. Even if you get a Vantage 3.0 score, it may be on the same range, but it's still not going to be the same exact score as FICO. I hope that helps. So you, with a little bit of me,